Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Tuesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? a little bit embarrassed right now. Something that usually Pirates fans remember every single MLB offseason because it's the only thing they have to look forward to is the MLB Draft Lottery. Totally forgot that that was on tonight. It just started here, same time as we did here, around 5:30. So I'm going to be popping my right earmuff off here to faintly listen into the TV over here, and we will react in real time here tonight to see if the Pirates, for I don't know what would this be now, the second or no, the third, maybe the fourth time in the Ben Cherington era where the Pirates have the first overall pick. I believe it will be the third. Henry Davis was the first overall pick that Ben Cherington made. And then, of course, Paul Skeens, the other. The Pirates tonight come in with, I believe, the third highest odds at landing the first overall pick in the 2026 MLB draft. They at 16.81%, just behind the Minnesota Twins at 22.18%, and the Chicago White Sox at 27.73%. So we will be over here. You will occasionally see me glance here to my right, see if the Pirates can land the first overall pick in the 2026 draft here tonight. Again, I apologize. Usually I'm on top of knowing that, and Pirates fans are as well, because that is the one thing that we get to look forward to in the MLB offseason on a regular year. But this year, not the case. There is tons and tons more to talk about with the Pittsburgh Pirates other than getting the first overall pick in the draft again, such as going big game hunting in free agency. That is where, on a Mike Tomlin Tuesday, crazy that, you know, in the middle of football and hockey season, we lead off the show talking about the Pirates for once. We will start with the Bucks here in a second. A major development today in their hunt for a big name in the free agent market. Their top target now off the board, Kyle Schwarber. We'll talk about where he went, how close the Pirates got to signing him, and where the Pirates could go next here in a moment. After that, we will indeed get into Mike Tomlin's Tuesday press conference, everything that the Steelers head coach had to say today. The big thing that we wanted to hear from him today was any updates on the many, many injuries that the Steelers suffered against the Ravens back on Sunday. After that, we'll get into some extra Pittsburgh sports news like normal. We'll start that segment off with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Some new injury news on them today. 2 players and a big one of the 2 going to injured reserve. They recalled 2 players from Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the minors, and we'll get into any other Pittsburgh sports news on top of all of that. Before we get this show on the road here this evening, if you are new here, welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a thing here on the channel again. Up to 656 subscribers now on the channel. Also, like this live stream, share this live stream so that we can continue to get the viewership up in here. And also in the comments section, any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, put those in the comments section as well. So we are going to get things started off here with the Pittsburgh Pirates in a second. I honestly should, matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. Going to make a banner here for live reaction to the MLB Draft Lottery. Again, crazy that this totally slipped past me, and I think a good other couple of people as well. This stupid timer here. There we go. Turn the timer off there on the new banner right there. So live reaction to the MLB Draft Lottery is what we will be doing partially here tonight. I believe they might be ready to make the first couple shave downs of the draft lottery here in a second. Probably announce the first, I don't know, handful of teams that will not be getting the first overall pick or getting into the top 3. So we'll peer over here and stop what we're doing when that happens. But we will start off today talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates nonetheless. Good news. Paul Skeens and Kyle Schwarber, the Pirates' top free agent target, they will be teammates. Unfortunately, though, that will not be with the Pittsburgh Pirates. How they will be teammates, what I'm referring to, Kyle Schwarber being named today to Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, but Schwarber will not be a Pittsburgh Pirate in 2026 or quite honestly any year beyond that. Today, we got some breaking news that the top free agent target for the Buccos is staying put where he played last year. Kyle Schwarber re-signing with the Philadelphia Phillies this morning on a 5-year, $150 million deal. Jeff Passan, ESPN MLB Insider, the first to report that. Honestly, this was pie in the sky, dreaming is free, wishing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We all knew that it was going to be a long shot for the Buccos to sign Schwarber. This was more of a tactic by Ben Cherington and maybe even Bob Nutting to say, hey, let's make a respectable still offer to Kyle Schwarber, but one that we all know he most likely will not accept. So we can, put out there some positive PR saying, hey, we are in on the bigger fish in this year's free agent class. And that sends a message to the other free agents out there as well, saying, hey, we are not operating as the Pittsburgh Pirates you've known for the past decade now, where we're only going to be fishing for minnows in free agency. No, we are taking things more seriously this year. That is definitely the case with the reported contract that was offered to Schwarber. Last night, it was reported that the Pirates' offer for Schwarber came in at 4 years, around the $100 million range. Further reports got a more definitive number, all the way up to, according to Pirates beat writer for MLB.com, Alex Stumpf, 4-year, $125 million deal for Kyle Schwarber is what the Pirates offered. Schwarber ended up taking around the same average value per year, but for an extra year as well. So the Phillies, they wanted to keep Schwarber. They had to guarantee that 5th year instead of making it an option, and increased our money a little bit to keep Schwarber. They did exactly that. Going to put a pause in the Kyle Schwarber talk for 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen. We will get back into that momentarily. The first batch of cuts in the MLB Draft Lottery are now going on here to my right. Division rival in the NL Central for the Buccos, the Cincinnati Reds, just missing the playoffs last year. They come in last place out of the 18 teams qualifying for the first overall pick here tonight. They will pick 18th. The Houston Astros coming in at 17th. We will be talking and mentioning the Houston Astros in the hot stove winter meeting news here in a moment. The Astros and Pirates, they've had a couple of conversations. Maybe a trade could be in the works there soon. So we will get into that here once we're done with some Kyle Schwarber talk as well. Looks like the number 16 spot here is going to go to the Texas Rangers. The Rangers just making a big trade earlier this offseason, acquiring Brandon Nimmo from the New York Mets, sending second baseman Marcus Semien to New York. Also, the Rangers, not quite sure where they are. I think they're in the bit of a twilight zone. They are well on the back end of winning that World Series a couple of years ago. They might be heading for a rebuild. One of their better players from that World Series team, right fielder Adolis Garcia, he is a free agent. Wouldn't mind the Steelers, going and picking, or wouldn't mind the Pirates going and picking him up for a power bat in the lineup. Number 15 in the draft order, that is going to go to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So back-to-back here, the Texans or the Rangers and Diamondbacks moving back in the order here. Number 14 is going to go to the Miami Marlins. The Diamondbacks, their former pitching coach Brent Strum joining the Pirates pitching staff last year. Strum has now moved on. Couple of rumors swirling around the D-backs right now. Their all-star second baseman Ketel Marte could be on the trading block, and Pirates fans, of course, just as big of a impossible wish to get Kyle Schwarber. Ketel Marte certainly up there as well. Number 13, another National League Central rival of the Pittsburgh Pirates, the St. Louis Cardinals. They will not be getting into the top 6, which they have highlighted here on MLB Network. The Cardinals picking 13th. Lots of news around them as well. They have been mentioned in talks with the Buccos recently. They're looking possibly to offload a lot of their big names on the roster. You're talking about Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, even Nolan Arenado, those types of guys being rumored to be traded away, and the Pirates might be a landing spot for one of those guys if they decide to make that in-division trade. Number 12, it's going to go to the LA Angels. They made a trade today with the Boston Red Sox, I think acquiring Vaughn Grissom from Boston. And looking here, okay, they are going to continue here. Thought they might have been done there for a second. Number 11 here, the Washington Nationals. They just were favorites last year, I think, to get the first overall pick. And I think they did pick first overall. They took Eli Willits, I believe was his name at the time. So the Nationals go from picking first overall last year back to picking 11th this year. Number 10 here in the MLB Draft Lottery, the very loathsome Colorado Rockies. I would say that they right now are in a bit of a sadder state franchise-wise than the Pittsburgh Pirates, but still, at least, they have had a knack of pursuing big fish in free agency way earlier than the Pirates. 6 of you in here right now. As you slowly trickle in, welcome here. We're live reacting to the MLB Draft Lottery. Pick number 9 is going to go to the Atlanta Braves. Going to get back into some other news surrounding the Pittsburgh Pirates here in a minute. Talking about Kyle Schwarber getting taken off the market here today. The Bucks were in on him, but at the same time, we are reacting to the MLB Draft Lottery here this evening. Out of the 6 of you in here right now, any thoughts, questions, opinions that you have on your mind could be about the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins. Get those in the comment section right now. Number 8 will be the Oakland. Oh, sorry, gotta bite my tongue there. The Athletics. So weird still, not calling them the Oakland Athletics. Do we call them the Sacramento Athletics? We're going to be calling them the Las Vegas Athletics here, and even that's going to take some getting used to. It's like when the Raiders left Oakland, took you a while to call them the Vegas Raiders and not the Oakland Raiders. Number 7, so I assume this is going to be the final reveal here before we get into the top 6, and it will be the Baltimore Orioles. So the Orioles, they fall from number 4 in the draft outside the top 6 that they have highlighted here. So the Orioles and Athletics and the Braves, 3 straight teams in that top 6 they have highlighted, they fall out in order. So the White Sox, the Twins, the Pirates, the still top 3 teams in terms of percentage to get the first overall pick. The top 3 teams are still in there. The Tampa Bay Rays, who I think were around the 5 spot, they're still in there. And then the Giants and the Royals, who are either at a 1% chance or a 0% or below a 1% chance to get the draft lottery, they are still live as well. So MLB Network goes to commercial. The Pirates still in contention here for the first overall pick. When that comes back on, we will pivot right back to that here in a moment. Back real quick, trying to wrap up this Kyle Schwarber news from today before they do come back from commercial. Schwarber signing a 5-year, $150 million deal to stay on the other side of the state with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Pirates at least did make a serious offer, pretty much tripling their offer for a free agent than what they have ever signed. Their offer reportedly in the 4-year a 4-year deal in the $120 to $125 million range. We have seen conflicting numbers all day today. The Phillies got aggressive, kept their guy. The Pirates, they weren't the only ones in on Schwarber, along with the Phillies. The Orioles, they had a similar offer to the Phillies. for Schwarber in the Cincinnati Reds, who we just talked about a minute ago, Pirate rival. They had a 5-year deal in the $125 million range as well. So there it is. Kyle Schwarber off the books. We've been talking about him on the channel for the past couple of weeks now. We knew it was going to be a long shot all along, and now he is officially unavailable. Now, my question to the Pirates is, what are you going to do now? Because now it's been a crazy past 7 days where it's been reports nonstop. Oh, the Pirates, they are getting aggressive on this guy. They're in on this guy. They're pretty much in on every who's who on the free agent market right now that has a pulse at the plate with the bat. My thing now with the Pirates, reportedly offering 120, 125 million, whatever the true number is, to Kyle Schwarber. You have to now not do nothing. If you're willing to spend that much money on one guy, then you got to reallocate that money to other pieces of your roster now. Go out, scour the market, get some serious offers in on the other top guys as well. Pete Alonso is still out there. He's probably a wishful thinking candidate for the Pirates as well. A guy who I think is very gettable for the Pirates if they make him a good enough offer. Eugenio Suarez. You need power in your lineup. Hit 35 home runs, I think, last year. And he also will fill probably your biggest hole on the diamond right now at third base. Get aggressive for him. Jorge Polanco's out there. Wouldn't mind him as well. The two Japan guys who have been linked to the Pirates, Kazuma Okamoto and Munetaka Murakami. Go get one of those guys as well. Cannot just sit now, say, oh, damn, he missed out on Schwarber. Well, I guess we're going to go back to, sign the Tommy Phams and Daniel Vogelbacks of the world. No, continue to be aggressive. Paul Skeens, report out there today, he is volunteering himself to make pitches to free agents. Ben Cherington said that yesterday they're hoping that they can land some stuff that makes them feel better about their team. Cherington, again today on MLB Network, that just came back on here, said that they're casting a wide net to pursue free agents. Please go out there, get something done, and we will pause things right there. The Kansas City Royals, they will pick number 6 in the draft, number 5, and there we are. There it is right there. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they drop down 2 spots and will pick 5th in this year's MLB draft, next year's MLB draft, I should say, the 2026 draft. That is where the Pirates will be picking. Number 4 will go to the San Francisco Giants. So there is that last team outside that bubble, I believe. The Giants leapfrog the Pirates. They go from 12 all the way up to number 4 in the pre-draft order. So it'll be Bucks 5, Giants 4. The top 3 now are about to come up here. We'll see how far the Tampa Bay Rays are going to go here. And number 3, the Minnesota Twins. Wow. So the Twins with, I believe, over 22% chance of getting the first overall pick. They now will pick 3rd. And here we go. The Rays with the 7th best odds and the White Sox with the best odds are going to be fighting over the first overall pick here. Let's see what it is. The first overall pick belongs to, in the 2026 draft. Oh, they're going to announce 2 first? I thought they would have did 1. And oh no, the Tampa Bay Rays. They go from 7. They do not make the climb to get number 1. The Chicago White Sox, who had a historically god-awful year last year. All that misery for their fan base warranted now because they got the first overall pick, so they are vindicated for that terrible season they had to live through. The Pirates will be picking 5th behind the White Sox, Rays, Twins, and Giants. So there we go. Live reaction to the 2026 MLB Draft Lottery now in the books. That was fun. I think the winter meetings there They're at Disney World. So imagine that. If you're White Sox representation, you go down there, you get the first overall pick, you get a vacation with it. How about it? So the Pirates picking 5th in the MLB draft. We will now wait to the All-Star break this upcoming season to see who the Pirates pick with that selection. Back into the Pirates now. Hopefully their team currently constructed is massively improved before that draft comes up. No Kyle Schwarber to the Buccos. Where do they pivot now, though? That's an interesting question. Still a lot of good names on the free agent market out there, like I just mentioned a moment ago. Some other things that the Pirates are looking to do right now. They're still looking, according to Ben Cherington and MLB insider Ken Rosenthal, looking to deal another pitcher. I think Cherington said the Pirates are open to trading from their starting pitching depth once again after shipping off Johan Oviedo last week to the Red Sox for their number 3 prospect. Ken Rosenthal echoing the same thing, and Rosenthal even putting a name to that pitcher who the Pirates could be moving. Rosenthal today dropping that the Houston Astros have reportedly spoken to the Pirates about Mike Burrows. Burrows, former, I think, one of the former, top pitching prospects of the Pirates. Tommy John injuries slowed his arrival to the big leagues last year. Got a nice long look in the major leagues and did all right. Held his own. Was it, top of the rotation type stuff? I wouldn't say that, but could he be a legit piece of a big league rotation for a long time? I absolutely think that he could. The Astros, they bring up an interesting destination for Mike Burrows should a trade like that formulate, because also Rosenthal today mentioning that they are looking into trading Isaac Paredes, their starting third baseman, was also a starting third baseman for the Cubs and the Tampa Bay Rays before that. So Paredes, Pirates need a third baseman, shipped off Ke'Bryan Hayes. As much as I love Jared Triolo's glove work, I don't think he could be an opening day, third baseman with the way his bat has been highly inconsistent. So maybe a Mike Burrows for a Isaac Paredes trade. That could be something that we might be able to project. So we will keep an eye on that. Burrows being mentioned as a possible trade candidate to go away from the Pirates. Some more stuff from Ken Rosenthal today. Also said another name who the Pirates have been interested in on the free agent market, second baseman, infield utility man, Jorge Polanco. Rosenthal today pointing that Polanco, quote, values comfort and winning in whatever teams are bidding for his services. Comfort and winning. I certainly doubt that the Pirates fit those 2 words right there as a description of their team. So Jorge Polanco might be very wishful thinking right now. And the last thing on the Pirates today, hot stove wise, of what's going on with them down at the winter meetings. Fan-sided MLB insider Robert Murray today putting out there that the Pirates, in addition to looking for some major additions to their lineup with the bats, and in addition to looking to maybe move out some pitching to acquire those bats if needed, the Pirates, they are also looking into the bullpen market as well. That should be very obvious. It's not getting talked about as much because the bats were so awful last year. Pretty much any interest in a decent bat, free agent or trade-wise for the Pirates, it's going to take center stage. But the bullpen is, something that should get a little bit more attention on it. They traded away guys like Caleb Ferguson and David Bednar last year at the trade deadline. And right now, I mean, you want to go off of guys you could probably pencil in as a reliable guy, late inning eater to begin the season. Dennis Santana, he might be it. So the Pirates, they definitely need to make at least one, but preferably two additions to their bullpen. And that same sentiment goes for their opening day lineup as well. So looking into the bullpen market, hopefully they're able to land a pretty decent target right there. One of the best, well, also went off the market today. Closer for the Mets, Edwin Diaz, going to the LA Dodgers today. So we will keep an eye on everything going on with the Buccos. They interested in Kyle Schwarber, couldn't land that plane, even though it was a very high chance they were not going to get him to begin with. They're still looking to trade a pitcher, potentially a Mike Burrows mentioned by name, and they're looking into the bullpen as well. So we will keep an eye on everything the Pirates are doing. The freshly 5th overall possession holding Pittsburgh Pirates. We will get to that and cover all of that the moment we get any more news. 6 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Gonna move out of some baseball talk here in a moment. Spent the first half hour on live stream talking about the Pirates and reacting to them getting the 5th overall pick in the 2026 draft lottery. Going to get into Pittsburgh Steelers stuff here in a second. Mike Tomlin's Tuesday press conference. We usually start out, Tuesdays talking about what the Steelers head coach had to say, but today the Pirates and the draft lottery took center stage. Pretty rare that happens this time of year. Let's go real quick before we get into the Steelers. Go to the comments section here. Echelon in here. Welcome, Echelon. Steelers fans falling victim once again to what there, Echelon? Please be more specific with what you have to say there. If it's, Steelers fans falling victim to maybe, I don't know what the correct word is here, maybe falling victim to falling for the hope of a win again. Steelers fans, weird large majority of the fan base. It's, all aboard back on the bandwagon here after the Steelers beat the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. I came on here yesterday and stated I am not. If they are able to play with the style that they did for the rest of the season, then I might have a little bit more faith in them heading into playoffs. But right now, I still think it's tracking towards the 9-8 ending to the season. You get into the playoffs maybe and get, stomped out in the playoffs. I hope I'm wrong there, Echelon. Flacco also in here as well. F the Ravens, haha. That Jim Horrible. I love that one right there. I got to remember that one, Jim Horrible. Honestly, Harbaugh, if Tomlin was on the hot seat last week, then, how is Harbaugh's ass not on fire right now? Because he and Tomlin both in similar boats in terms of underachieving significantly for what their, perception is around the NFL. Again, here, I pray Achane doesn't play. Hoping, Achane is all right and that the injury, isn't, something terrible for him. But if he does miss playing the Steelers, then that will be a massive advantage, I would say, for the Steelers. But now the more I think about it, I hope Achane plays, honestly, because then you're going to be going up against the backup running back and he'll run for like 150 yards and that'll make the Steelers look even more terrible. At least with Achane, they will see, okay, hey, we got a dude in the backfield. We got to, bring the juice and stop here today. If they go against a backup there, then they might not think that. Speaking of Achane and the Dolphins, let's get into the Mike Tomlin Tuesday press conference. He brought up the Dolphins in his press conference today before they match up the Steelers and Finns on Monday Night Football. Getting into Tomlin's presser today, did not start his press conference like he normally does with a recap of the previous game. Instead, today, one thing we were waiting for pretty much all week was to see, or hear, I should say, what the injury report is. And after that brutal game, highly physical game between the Steelers and the Ravens, we need to know what the status of everyone is. That's where Tomlin started today, came right out talking about the injury report. The first names that he mentioned in the injury report today were the guys in concussion protocol, I believe. Malik Harrison, Andres Pete, Darnell Washington, those three gentlemen leaving with concussions. They will be in protocol. No update on them right now. Tomlin just said we'll let the protocol process work its way out, and hopefully those guys will be able to get cleared and be back for Monday night with the extra day off. Tackle Calvin Anderson, his knee injury still. He is the only Steeler out of their laundry list of injuries to immediately be ruled out for Monday's game on a Tuesday. So no Calvin Anderson. It will once again, if Andres Pete cannot go, then it'll be Dylan Cook as your starting left tackle. So hopefully Pete will be able to get out of the concussion protocol. Three guys were limited as questionable. James Pierre did leave, or did get shaken up a little bit, I should say, in the Ravens game. He has a calf injury, per Tomlin. I have no idea. Thought I had something there in my earmuff. All right. I think we're good. All right, my bad, guys. Thought I think I felt a hair or something here in this earmuff. But yeah, Tomlin saying, James Pierre, Keanu Benton, Kyle Duggar, those three gentlemen, they are listed as questionable for the game on Monday. Pierre with a calf, Benton with an ankle. I think he was the first of many guys in that Ravens game to go down with injury. Kyle Duggar, after missing the Ravens game with a hand injury, hoping him being questionable, and Tomlin saying that he's anticipating Duggar to have a chance to return to the lineup. Hopefully that means the hand is not broken. It's something minor. So good to maybe get your other starting safety, Kyle Duggar, back as well. Derek Harmon, he was brought up in the injury report as well. Tomlin, I don't think officially labeled him as questionable, but did say that he will be limited in practice early in the week. His participation will be the guide leading into Monday night. And then the last guy that Tomlin talked about today, injury-wise, DK Metcalf, of course. Yesterday we talked about he did not fly home with the Steelers on the team flight, stayed overnight in a Baltimore hospital with a stomach issue, and then flew back to Pittsburgh yesterday. Tomlin on Metcalf today said he is moving in the right direction, and he does not anticipate Metcalf to miss the Dolphins game. So I think that was hopefully, a precaution thing that he stayed the night in the Baltimore hospital. I think you still will see him limited, maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday, something like that, to just, give him the extra bit of recovery. But good news, Metcalf will be all right and will be back out there for the Steelers, hopefully continuing that hot performance that he had against Baltimore, transitioning that over against Miami. After the injury report, Tomlin got into the game from Sunday and the game ahead coming up on Monday. Said that the Steelers, they did play an aggressive, schematic type of offense, and they had plenty of playmaking that came from that. Said, quote, "We got some yards in chunks, and that aids in execution. Chunk plays are the central component of scoring drives." Hopefully, that is not one of Tomlin's typical, we go week to week with the game plans and all that, and you go another month or something where you don't have any deep downfield threat plays. So hopefully him seeing that the offense, when it's able to click like that, they are able to put the team and the defense in a favorable position. Hopefully he takes this aggressive schematic mindset more often and keeps that rolling here. You got to get the offense going. It was a nice start against the Ravens, but they have got to continue to get better here in the last 4-game stretch before heading into playoffs. Tomlin also gave huge credit to the special teams unit, said Ben Skoranek and Carson Bruner balled out on special teams. We got more on Skoranek coming up here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news. He is getting recognized for his special team work beyond what his head coach says. As for the Dolphins, Tomlin of course, he always does his whole, this team could be 0-12, and I'm going to praise them as some sort of juggernaut, said that the Dolphins are as hot as any team in the NFL. And, some people might say, all right, that's a bit of an overreaction, but to be honest, that might not be too far off of a statement there. The Dolphins, all of a sudden, at one point they were terrible. They fired their GM. Their head coach was on the hot seat. They're back up to 6-7 in the record department right now. Same record as the Chiefs and the Carolina Panthers, I believe. Same record as the Ravens. So the Miami Dolphins, even though they are coming up to Pittsburgh and it's going to be in the teens for that game Monday night, the Dolphins are historically terrible, at least under their head coach Mike McDaniel in cold weather. Cannot just view them as a pushover team, as a team fighting for the first overall pick like they were a month and a half ago. And of course, concepts, or Flocka, I think you put it in the comment section there. Of course, one of the first guys Tomlin brought up talking about the Dolphins was Minkah Fitzpatrick, gave glowing remarks of him saying, he's playing well and his versatility has been a huge advantage for the Dolphins defense. I think Tomlin wanted to both give glowing endorsements to Fitzpatrick, but also, leave himself a bit of wiggle room because, you're hyping up this guy. I'm sure someone was bound to ask him then, if this guy's such good and he's so good and he's doing these things, then why did you get rid of him? So I think that's where he left things there on Minkah. After that, got into the Q&A portion of his press conference a little bit, said about Derek Harmon and why he is so vital to the Steelers' run defense. Didn't really give a schematic answer at all on why Derek Harmon is so critical and why the run defense is light years better with him on the field than without. Tomlin just simply said he's a first-round pick. That's part of why you go get guys like him. Okay, cool quote. I'm sure that's, gonna be framed and put in Derek Harmon's locker here, but would have liked more of a schematical answer, more of a on the field tangible type answer there on why Harmon is why the run defense is better with Harmon than without. So Tomlin sort of ducking and weaving that one there. Did get, however, an explanation on why Roman Wilson was inactive against the Ravens on Sunday. He was a healthy scratch over Adam Thielen, who was on the team for 5, maybe 4 days leading into the Ravens game. Roman was inactive over Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who was elevated from the practice squad, and was inactive over Scotty Miller, who's been a healthy inactive at portions this season. Tomlin simply said they brought up Miller by name. I would have, if I was in that room, say what was the reasoning behind Roman Wilson being inactive. I would have liked to have maybe heard an explanation on all the guys, all the other wide receivers, and why Roman was on the outside looking in compared to those. But they mentioned Scotty Miller by name, whoever asked the question. Tomlin saying Miller's ability to serve as a backup punt returner in a jam was the reason he dressed over Wilson. So maybe that's true. Well, it definitely is true. I don't think Wilson contributes much to special teams, even though I think he has the capabilities of doing that. And but I also wonder if maybe that's Tomlin not throwing him under the bus there. Tomlin also then went into to wrap up his press conference praise for players having big years. Said James Pierre is a tough-minded individual, and this, tough road he's been on his career isn't anything new to him. So praising him for his breakout here in year 6. Also, Tomlin said he's excited to see Dylan Cook play if he would start in place of Andres Pete. Said that he liked his mindset going into the game on a short notice when he did. And he gave praise for the young guys on the offensive line for the Steelers, the entire right side, Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, Troy Fautanu. Tomlin saying they have taken such big steps in their second year together, and they haven't had, any sort of recognition on it. Tomlin said he doesn't have the time to do that, but he did it today. And the final thing from Tomlin's press conference today, even with the win over the Ravens, even, taking down your division rival, getting back into first place in your division, and Aaron Rodgers post-game saying that hopefully after the win, people can shut up now about Mike Tomlin. He was asked, I think, at least one question about being on the hot seat after that Bills game, and what he thinks about the fans. Again, asked again about what he thought about the fans chanting for his firing. Tomlin said, "I've been on the hot seat for 19 years." Said a couple other things on top of that. He feels the pressure every week to and has the drive to perform for the fans and all that. So typical coach speak right there. However, I've been on the hot seat for 19 years. I mean, yeah, you got to have that mindset, but does he really believe he's on the hot seat? I don't believe that for a single second here, because he might be one of the more secure head coaches in the NFL, being buddy with Art Rooney II. I don't think Art still for a second is going to have any sort of thought of firing him or trading him in the offseason. So that wraps up the Mike Tomlin Tuesday press conference update. Some injury updates. Only one guy being ruled out on a Tuesday for Monday night's game. I am going to take that as an extreme positive for how many injuries the Steelers walked out of M&T Bank Stadium with. Tomlin giving praise to some of the young guys taking steps, and also saying the Steelers, that aggressive offensive mindset, hopefully they will continue that moving forward. 8 of you in here right now. Back to the comment section here for a second before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the evening. Gonna probably be a bit of a shorter live stream than usual here. Let's go to the comment section here. Flacco in here. Minka's coming home. I'm afraid. Revenge game. Would not be surprised if Minka makes a play, gets an interception, a forced fumble, something like that. He's going to be fired up. I think things ended a little rocky here in Pittsburgh. I still think he has, love for the city of Pittsburgh, or at least he's going to portray that to the media. I do think things got a little rocky with some teammates and some of the coaches, including Tomlin. So Minka definitely will be fired up. He's going to be preaching all week to Dolphins of the mentality and the physicality they're going to need to bring even in the cold. So, it's going to be very weird seeing Minka on the opposite side of the field from the Steelers offense. We'll see there. Flacco, yes, 19 years there, Tomlin. Approaching year number 20. Crazy. Blink of an eye. All of a sudden, Tomlin goes from being hired to now he's on the hot seat 19 years later. Steeler football. Don't fire head coaches. Lance33 in the comment section. What is going on? Shut up from Mon Valley. Good to see you again here, Lance. Flacco again in here. Also afraid of the pass rush of the Dolphins. Their pass rush. It is a pretty formidable unit. I still think even with trading away Jalen Phillips to the Eagles at the deadline, they still got 2, I believe, outstanding outside pass rushers. They got Matthew Judon, who is a year or 2 still removed from putting up big numbers with the New England Patriots, and why am I blanking? Who's the guy on the other side? Oh, Bradley Chubb. I forgot that for a second. So Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon, definitely guys to keep an eye on. I believe they still have Zach Sealer in the middle of that D-line. They got Kenneth Grant, who they took in the first round ahead of the Steelers. Remember Kenneth Grant and Derek Harmon? They were labeled as the 2 favorites for the Steelers to take in last year's draft. The Dolphins took him, I believe, somewhere in the low teens. So, yeah, a very underrated pass rush and D-line there for the Dolphins. Lance 3-3 in here. Who's ruled out for Monday already? Calvin Anderson. He will miss his second or third straight game now with a knee injury. So unless Andres Pete can get out of concussion protocol between now and Monday night, you are going to be looking at Dylan Cook, your fourth string practice squad tackle, being your starter on Aaron Rodgers' blind side, which hopefully they are going to give him a ton of help against Judon or Chubb or whoever else he goes against. Flacco here. I mean, how the hell has he been on the hot seat for 19 years? Yeah, my thoughts exactly there. Flacco. Also, forgot about this guy. Chop Robinson, Penn State product. Forgot he was down there. He was what, like a 19th overall pick or something? I think that was the year the Steelers. Was that the year the Steelers took Broderick Jones? That he was picked. Thought that he was going to be, one of those, Penn State pass rusher with Abdul Carter and Micah Parsons. Thought he was going to be among those guys. Think he's slowly starting to get his NFL career rolling. So yeah, definitely you're not going to forget about him. In fact, let me bring that up right now because there are some other guys I feel I'm forgetting about on this Dolphins defense. Let's go to Dolphins depth chart here. See who they got there. I think I got, most of the big dogs. Chubb. They got Chubb. Bradley Chubb. I think Matthew Judon. Is he still there? Yeah, Judon is still there. Chop Robinson. Zach Sealer. Jordan Phillips is there. Forgot. Former Buffalo Bill. Kenneth Grant. Yeah. Tyrell Dodson in the middle there as well. Keep an eye on him. And then the back end, their corners, still something I think the Steelers, I'll put out there right now, they got to attack relentlessly. Their pretty much biggest corner of note is Rasul Douglas, and I think he's getting further and further away of what he was in Green Bay. Other than him, you got Jack Jones and Ifeatu Melifonwu, and then some other guys who, I barely even know beyond that. And then Minka and Jack Jones. Yeah, you got Minka as a starting nickelback. They don't even have Minka as a starting safety here. They got Melifonwu and Ashton Davis as their two starting safeties, at least according to this depth chart I'm looking at. So they don't have Minka as a starting safety, even though I'm sure he will play some safety. They have him as a nickelback here. So that is interesting. But yeah, very underrated, I think. Still can be dangerous when they are turned up there for the Dolphins. Lance 3 really dinged up going into this tough stretch. Don't forget LeVar when shouting out those linebackers. I did not mean to do any sort of disrespect to LeVar Arrington. I was just going, recent memory out of all the linebackers to come through Penn State. So yeah, definitely not going to not mention, probably the greatest of them all. Maybe him and Parsons are battling for that, but yeah, don't want to do any disrespect to LeVar. Isn't his son there going there now? Penn State? I think so. Last I knew. 2024 first round, 21st overall. So that would have been 2024. That would have been the Broderick Jones year, and that would have been the Fautanu year. And the Steelers picked Fautanu when in that year. I'm forgetting. I forget if that was before or after the Steelers, but yeah, tons of high pedigree pass rushing wise there on that Dolphins defense. 9 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, and in the comment section, anything that you want to talk about, thoughts, questions, opinions on the Steelers, Penguins, or Pirates, get those in there. We'll talk about that. Started off the show talking about the Pirates and their failed quest for Kyle Schwarber and their failed attempt to get the first overall pick in the 2026 MLB draft. That's why I'm decked out in the Pirates gear here tonight. Going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news, and for the first time tonight, we are going to be getting into the local hockey team, the Penguins, coming up here in roughly 45 minutes. The Pens, they are going to be back in action, taking on the Anaheim Ducks. They are back home after a 2-game road trip in which they split games. They won against the Lightning 4-3, and then they lost in a shootout to the Dallas Stars, I believe 3-2. Took 3 out of a possible 4 points, so I'm not complaining. However, even though the Pens are back home tonight and they are playing a very beatable opponent, I believe they're in the Ducks, even though the Ducks beat them earlier this season. Bad news for the Pens today. Turns out this injury that was originally, supposed to be something minor for one of Evgeni Malkin has turned out to be something much more severe. Malkin today, along with Blake Lizotte, who just played the other night against the Stars, both of those men, 2 centers, put on injured reserve today. The Pens, with a response move, brought back up Danton Heinen and Sam Poulin, who had short stints on the NHL roster earlier this season. So not good news for the Penguins this morning. This Evgeni Malkin situation, which has snowballed from, I believe it was back on Saturday. It was just a maintenance day for him. He was, nothing wrong with him, just, didn't practice, was at, I think, even a Dallas Mavericks game the night that was reported. Then it turned into Malkin day-to-day with a undisclosed, but I think it was then confirmed to be a lower body injury or an upper body injury. Then it turned into a day-to-day thing. He didn't play against Dallas, and now it's gotten so bad to the point where he's on IR. Something about that, I'm sorry, smells fishy to me. How do we go from, it's just a guy, getting off his feet a day to now he's going to be out for, maybe a couple of weeks, if not more. It's a week-to-week thing now with Gino. So I want to know what the hell happened. I am so confused about it. Sounds like not many insiders or beat writers for the Penguins know exactly how we got to this point either. We'll say, though, even though it is a big loss for the Penguins, they lose their 29-point goal scorer through 26 games so far this season in Gino. It is, probably something we did expect, though. At some point, Malkin, 39 years old right now. I mean, yeah, producing like he's back in his prime again, but was he going to play all 82 games all year long? I think we all know the answer to that. Probably wasn't going to be the case. As a matter of fact, even though this guy is a freak of nature and is, just such a workhorse and is probably, going to be able to play till he's well into his 40s, I don't necessarily expect Crosby to play every single game this season either. So if, this is what Malkin's going to miss here this season, I would rather him miss now in early December when the team is, still in a playoff position hunt right now than I would have Gino, say, get injured worse than what this already is late in the season and have him be missing in action for the final push for the playoffs here. So just trying to put a positive spin on that. No idea how we got to this point, but Gino will be on the shelf for a while with injured reserve. The lineup will do some shuffling again for the Penguins, judging by their morning skate today. Tommy Novak, Sidney Crosby, Brian Rust will remain the top line. The second line and third line will remain the same as well. Anthony Mantha, Kevin Hayes, Justin Brazeau. That line stays together from Sunday night against Dallas. And the kid line, McGroarty, Kindle, Koivunen, they stay the same as well. The fourth line, that is where we get the lone change in the forward group with Blake Lizotte now on injured reserve. Danton Heinen, fresh off that call-up, will be the de facto fourth line center. I'm sure he and Noel Acciari on the wing will be subbing in and out in the faceoff dot. Defense pairings, again, unsurprisingly, no changes to the top 2 pairings. Parker Wotherspoon, Eric Carlson, Ryan Shea, Chris Letang, the top 2 pairs. Ryan Graves, once again, paired with Connor Clifton today. So Matt Dumba got back into the lineup for one game against the Stars Sunday night. Now back out again in favor of the grit and sandpaper Connor Clifton. Some other news and notes on the Pens today, though no other extra Pittsburgh sports news on them tonight besides what we're talking about right now. Artur Shalovs will get the start in goal tonight. I believe this will be his first start in 5 games. Tristan Jarry made 4 starts in a row, so Artie party in Pittsburgh tonight. He is in net, hopefully not too much rust to shake off for him. Jack St. Ivany, who recently got brought back up after his conditioning stint with the Wilkes-Barre Penguins. He is day-to-day with a right foot injury. I think that might be the same foot that he broke in the preseason, which is why he hasn't played at all this year for the Pens. So he is still being evaluated, remains on the injured non-roster list. It was confirmed by head coach Dan Muse today what we talked about yesterday. Harrison Brunick still stuck on game number 9 for the Pens, has yet to either play his 10th game and officially become a rookie with the Pens or be sent back to the juniors. Brunick will indeed be reporting to Team Canada for their World Junior Championship camp when the time comes. And the last piece of news today from the Penguins, this probably takes the sting out of losing Evgeni Malkin a little bit. Rickard Rakell cleared for contact, back out there on the ice with the team this morning. No more before practice skates or after practice workouts for Rakell. He very close to coming back into the Pens lineup. That will be a sight for sore eyes. Help try to replace that production that will be vacated by Evgeni Malkin. So Rickard Rakell on the comeback for the Penguins. Continuing along here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news, and then we will get to your comments to wrap up the evening. Some extra Pittsburgh Steelers news here today, a little bit for them. In addition to them taking on the Miami Dolphins on Monday night, also they'll look a little bit different. The Steelers on Monday night. Was wondering if with the new throwback uniforms they had this season, if they were going to wear these at all this year. It will be a color rush night in Acrisure Stadium Monday night. The all dark uniforms with the yellow accent. I wish the Steelers would wear their yellow helmets with these jerseys. That would look sick. But the all black unis, they are coming back out. Might need to on Monday night break out my Najee Harris color rush jersey, even though he is no longer here. We'll see. Also, interesting news, rumblings out there that now with the college football season over, the gold end zones could be making their return once again. I believe there is a still shot of the Acrisure Stadium field going around where it looks like the AFC logo and the Steelers logo are back on either side of the end zones once again. So the black and gold end zones coming back. Would love to see that. They should stay permanently, but that's the one gripe that I have with my alma mater, Pitt. Told you we would mention Ben Skowronek again after Mike Tomlin praised him in his press conference today. Congratulations to Skowronek. He right now the number 1 player, special teams player in terms of Pro Bowl voting by the fans. Skowronek, number 1 in voting for special teams for the Pro Bowl right now. Very deserved. He has been a dog on special teams all year. Also, some other Steelers that are top 10 at their position in Pro Bowl voting. Connor Hayward, somehow number 5 for fullback, even though I think Spencer Anderson honestly has been used more as a fullback than Hayward this season. Jalen Ramsey sitting right at number 10 for free safety on the Pro Bowl voting right there. I would expect maybe a couple more good games from him. He might jump up in that position a little bit. And as much as we want to talk about, the Pro Bowl and guys getting their flowers there, at the end of the day, it still is more or less a popularity contest because somehow, I don't mean this as a shot, he's having an all right season, but certainly not a $41 million caliber season. TJ Watt, number 5 in outside linebacker voting for the Pro Bowl as it sits right now. I was shocked to see that. I would have expected him to be maybe on the outside looking in at the top 10, if not around that 9 to 10 range, because, having a nice little season, still getting his, batted passes and TFLs, but the sack department has been something of worry for TJ so far this season. Maybe hopefully just saving his energy for late in the season here in a big push, but we'll see. And the last thing on the Steelers here today, I think we might have seen, going back to last year here, the last of Trey Hendrickson in the AFC North, the Bengals' top pass rusher, missing both games due to injury against the Black and Gold this season. He today, having core muscle surgery, will be out for the rest of the season, and I believe he is going to be a free agent as well for Cincinnati. He is going to definitely want to get the hell out of Dodge and go elsewhere after the Bengals disrespected him a good bit last offseason. So Trey Hendrickson looks like he might be on his way out of the AFC North. Unfortunately, injury kept him from playing the Steelers this season. And we talked about the Pirates to open up the show a bunch. Just a couple of loose end things on him today that I didn't want to put in the opening segment. The Pirates losing another member of their front office this offseason. They've lost quite a bit on the coaching staff, and I think 1 or 2 people in the front office. They lost another front office person today, Director of Pitching Development, Jeremy Bleich. He is leaving for an assistant general manager role with the Arizona Diamondbacks today. Bleich, according to Jason Mackey of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, with the Pirates for 6 seasons, pretty much the entire Ben Cherington tenure he has been with the Bucks. Well respected by the organization, and was certainly a part of the team and their recent pitching success. So hopefully his loss will not be that much of a major one, but also wish him the best of luck in his new role. Also, speaking of Jason Mackey, he down there in Orlando for the winter meetings, caught up with new Pirates pitching coach Bill Murphy. Love this sort of mindset here. Haven't heard this much of a mindset really from anyone in the Pirates organization over the past couple of years. Bill Murphy, Pirates' new pitching coach, coming over from the Houston Astros, dropped a quote to Mackey today. Quite frankly, I cannot wait for the fans to see us playing in October. That is why I came here. Love that mindset. Love that confidence there from Murphy. The Astros, I believe, last year around the 10 or 11 mark in team ERA. The Bucks, they were in the top 10. Murphy, of course, did well with the pitching staff there in Houston, but he's never had a Paul Skeens, and hopefully pairing him up with Paul Skeens just takes this pitching staff to higher heights. And the last thing here on the Bucks today, speaking of pitching, on Instagram, on his story, Jared Jones making another step in his comeback from elbow surgery last season. Jones, his first flat ground pitching workout today, I believe somewhere down there in Florida. So Jared Jones, I think he's going to be expected back midway through the season, but him already throwing again on flat ground, that's a positive sign that his recovery process might be getting sped up a little bit. So that is very good to see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that that just about will do it here tonight. Real quick, let's go through the old Twitter timeline here, see if we have anything new before we log off here tonight, seeing a bunch of the, of course, Pirates reporters putting out there the 5th overall pick for the Pirates. This would be the 3rd time that they will have a lottery pick in the 4 years under the new system, according to Alex Stumpf. Also, Ethan Holohan, who does nice payroll work on the Pirates. The Pirates, they have the largest draft pool in the entire, or draft pool for money in the entire MLB. $19 million the Pirates have to play with in signing the guys that they draft. So that is very good to see there. Shows you that they might not need to, tiptoe around who they pick in what spot. They can just pick and sign as they please. And I am not seeing too much else here, so I think that is going to wrap things up here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. One last time, let's get into the comment section before we log off here tonight. Concepts coming in here before the show wraps up. Glad to have you here, Concepts. F the Ravens, everyone coming in here with that today. That might be our new handle. Just on your way in, instead of saying a normal hello, just dropping F the Ravens. We'll know what you mean. Who are the top 5 choices in the baseball draft? Haven't been paying any attention. I honestly don't know what all prospects are in the draft for baseball this upcoming year. Last year, I knew a little bit because of Ethan Holiday, son of a former big leaguer. And the year Skeens and Dylan Cruz came out, I mean, everyone knew who those guys were coming out of the draft. So not really sure what baseball prospects are out there right now. Out of all the drafts that I cover here on the channel, football and hockey, I know tons and tons more about, it feels like, than baseball. So when we get closer and into the baseball season, I will develop more of an idea of who I would want the Pirates to maybe scoop up there at the number 5 spot. Flacco here. Shout out to the Colts for bringing an older quarterback than Flacco in, Aaron Old Man Rivers. Indeed. We talked about that last night when it was reported he was going to work out today. And indeed, Phillip Rivers onto the practice squad of the Indianapolis Colts. So now he, at 44 years old, overtakes Rodgers and Flacco for oldest quarterback active on a NFL, not roster, but in an NFL organization. He's not on their roster yet. Flacco here again. I feel like Nick Herbig deserves it over TJ, but it's pretty close, pretty even. Yeah, surprised Herbig isn't in the top 10 for Pro Bowl voting. But again, like I said, the Pro Bowl, does anybody really care about the Pro Bowl anymore? I don't think so. I mean, it's become a joke since they took the physicality off of it, and now they just do these kiddie games like dodgeball and tug of war, maybe, if they're feeling really bold. It's a popularity contest at the end of the day, and Herbig hasn't developed himself into that big of a household name yet, though the way he's performing, once he gets that big boy contract, people might start to know about him a little bit more. Concepts in here. Kaminka just not get on the plane back to Miami and don the black and gold again, maybe disguise him in Clark's jersey with him under the table money. I would love to disguise Minka Fitzpatrick in a Chuck Clark jersey. Honestly would. I know things had a rotten ending here, but shows, I think he's showing down there in Miami, he still has a little bit more left in the tank. And I love Jalen Ramsey and Kyle Duggar as the safety tandem. But if you were to keep Minka and still acquire Ramsey in the offseason, you might be looking at a safety tandem of Minka and Ramsey, which would have been lights out, even more than what Duggar and Ramsey have done up to this point. So yeah, respect Minka, love him, love his time here in Pittsburgh, and wish him the best of luck for the rest of his career, except for on Monday night, because we need this win over the Dolphins. Concepts here. Huntley made a Pro Bowl and Kenny Pickett was a runner-up. Becoming a joke. Yeah, that's all you need to know right there as to how big of a joke the Pro Bowl has become. take no sort of stock in it. There's really no sort of effect in getting a Pro Bowl except on Hall of Fame resumes and contract negotiations. That's the only importance that I think being a Pro Bowler has anymore. Flacco here went to the last good Pro Bowl. Yeah, that's cool there. Yeah, they seem to have it every year down there in Florida, right there, Flacco. See, you at least got to enjoy real football for the Pro Bowl with the game's best instead of just, kid games and all of that sort of thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is about going to wrap things up here tonight on stream for an hour and 15 minutes. So, going to wrap things up. We were on for a while last night. This was fun. Got to react live to the Pirates underwhelmingly getting the 5th overall pick. But hey, rather, have the 5th overall pick and go spend money in free agency than get another 1st overall pick and celebrate that. Like, that's the biggest accomplishment the Pirates are going to have all off season. Back to work. Ben Cherington, you got your 5 minutes off there, seeing if your team would get the 1st overall pick. Now, let's get back to work. Kyle Schwarber, not getting him is no excuse. Now transfer that $120 million into something else or a couple other guys. Please improve this roster. We talked about Mike Tomlin's press conference, talked about the Penguins and them losing Evgeni Malkin, but hey, they can make us forget a little bit of that here if they get a win over the Anaheim Ducks starting here in about 20 minutes. So this was fun. Thank you all. We'll be back here tomorrow night, I'm sure, to talk about this Pens game, talk about the Steelers a little bit. One thing I did forget to mention, just remembering now in the Tomlin press conference, do not think that there will be an injury report tomorrow for the Steelers. They are going to take the day off to rest guys extra little bit. Usually in Steelers have 3 practices, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading into the weekend. They instead are going to, instead of, having 4 practices, take that day off and resume practice preparation for the Dolphins on Thursday. So not sure what we'll talk about the Steelers tomorrow if they do anything. So tomorrow probably talking about the Pens and the Pirates some more and anything that the Steelers so happen to give us. So thank you all. That's going to do it. On your way out, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you do not miss a thing here on the channel. Like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment after the fact. I can get to those, leave you a like there, respond to that as well. And also go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And tune in a little bit later on tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night. Let's enjoy, hopefully, the Penguins getting another victory here tonight, continuing their good season. Back here tomorrow to talk about more Pittsburgh sports news. Peace.